Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this quick webinar on FP&A reports using AI. So we don't say AI is coming anymore. AI is already here, and it is impacting every single step in the finance function. The way we reconcile reports, the way we prepare presentations, the way we analyze things, the way we write commentaries, everything is being impacted by AI. So in FP&A reports using AI, so what will we be covering today? So a quick roadmap of how the next 45 minutes is going to look like. We'll start by understanding how AI is impacting FP&A. We'll also look at two different scenarios, FP&A without AI and FP&A with AI tools in place. And then what are some of the reporting use cases? So we'll cover 2 to 3 solid use cases on management reporting and try and give you a sneak peek into how AI is going to change management reporting or FP&A reporting. And then I'll also touch upon the 5 critical skill sets that CFOs today are looking for in their finance function. I end up meeting at least half a dozen CFOs every week, and it's always interesting to understand what is it that they are looking for in terms of futuristic FP&A talent. And of course, we'll have some time for questions in the end. Okay. So again, I would say next 30 to 40 minutes are going to be critical with all the concepts, and we'll try and cover as many practical examples in the limited time that we have. So get rid of all the distractions and let's get started. A quick introduction before we begin with. My name is Dhawal Parvatikar. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I worked for about 16 years in the industry before I ventured into entrepreneurship and started FP&A Professionals Institutes. I worked as a CFO in India and in the Middle East. I've been actively training since last about 6 years now, since 2018, 2019. And I've trained over more than 5,000 professionals on various topics like FP&A, finance business partnering, now AI for FP&A, one-to-one CFO career coaching, and much more. I'm also the part-time faculty for ISB's CFO program. You will frequently see me in events across the Middle East, either as a host, as a moderator, as a panelist, as a speaker. So you will frequently see me in events across the Middle East. And I've also built a vibrant community of more than 200 CFOs in the Middle East. I'm joined by my co-founder, Asif Masani. Asif, a quick introduction from your end.
Thank you so much, Dhawal, for having me. I will quickly talk about me and FPI as well. So I've been working in finance and specifically in FP&A for over a decade now. Started as an FP&A analyst back in 2013, and my most recent role was the FP&A lead for APAC at Coursera. And then in 2023, me and Dhawal started FP&A Professional Institute. And over the last 3.5 years, we have had the opportunity to train thousands of finance professionals upskill in FP&A. So we started with FP&A Masterclass back in 2022, and over the last 3.5 years, I see some of you are here present who has taken the FP&A Masterclass. So over the last 3.5 years, we've trained over 6,000 students, and CGFPA, which is the Certified Global FP&A Profession, is our flagship certification in FP&A, which is one of the top globally recognized certification, and that is what we do. So CGFPA gives you access to 10 comprehensive modules where you can go from a beginner to an advanced level in FP&A.
Awesome. Thank you, Asif. This is a quick snapshot of CGFA program for you. So we just started our last cohort on 4th of July. The next cohort is coming up in October. So do keep an eye on the announcements when the admissions start for the next batch of Certified Global FP&A program. Awesome. So with that, let's get started with today's section. So I want to just quickly touch upon how AI is going to impact FP&A, right? So in fact, not only FP&A, but AI is impacting every single step. The more I speak to CFOs, the more they say, okay, can you give me some AI tool, or can you recommend some AI tool which can simplify my FP&A process? But it's not as simple as that. Most of the people, when they think about AI, they're thinking only in terms of the tool. What tool can I buy which will simplify everything? So there is no such tool like this. Okay. But AI can certainly impact your workflows. Okay. Which means that if you were taking 5 steps to prepare a report in Excel, maybe 3 out of those 5 steps will be done by an AI tool now. And you get more time to analyze, and you spend lesser time on massaging your data or bringing your data up to speed. Right? So that is how AI is being impacted in FP&A. So here's a quick snapshot. So in the traditional FP&A scenario, most of the times you will have disconnected systems and you were required to manually extract data from your ERP, from your CRM, from your HRMS tool, and then get into this endless loop of VLOOKUPs and XLOOKUPs, and then try and compile all the data. And by the time you used to compile this report, in most cases these would be static reports. By the time you used to compile these reports, a couple of weeks have already gone. The data has changed, the assumptions have changed, the Excel market assumptions have changed, and if at all somebody asks you to prepare this report again, you again get into that endless loop of VLOOKUPs and XLOOKUPs and try and do everything manually. But with AI and the data analytics field expanding, so this is how the new FP&A process looks like. So there could be multiple sources that you could be using. Data from these sources, from your ERP, from your EPM tool, from your HRMS, your CRMs, it gets accumulated in a unified data lake, okay, or an environment where multiple sets of data can be pulled in from different resources. And then a certain level of basic data validation and extraction can be done at the lake level itself. And then on top of this data lake, you actually put a machine learning model or an AI tool or a predictive analytics tool or even an FP&A tool or a real-time dashboard. It could be a Power BI dashboard or it could be any of these tools, FP&A tools that you could be using, like a JDocs or a board or an Anaplan or any of these tools as well. So this is how the new FP&A architecture is going to look like, and this is where you will be required to work on. Okay, so it will require some understanding of what is a data lake, and then what happens after the data can be extracted, and how do you use these tools as well. So that's how the new FP&A is going to look like. So we are moving from siloed data to more or less unified intelligence, where there is a single source of truth and all the reports are interconnected with each other and not very disconnected with each other. So that's, we are progressing towards that AI-driven FP&A. Now, what are the different levels of AI? So I'll just spend quickly 1 minute to understand what are the different levels of AI. At times, these can be confusing and these can be used interchangeably as well. But you can categorize AI into 4 different levels based on basic automation to autonomous intelligence. Okay. So in terms of basic automation, you have the robotic process automation. Now, RPA existed even before the AI wave came into the picture, right? So I know so many companies who have successfully implemented RPA. A few years ago, I was not few years ago. I mean, good 5-6 years ago, I was actually talking to a CFO of an insurance company, and she said that almost 80% of the insurance claims are actually being catered by RPA, and only about 15 to 20% manual claims assessor involvement is now required. Right, so that's an example of RPA, that's robotic process automation. Anything that is rule-based and repetitive, and which has predefined structured steps to follow, RPA can be helpful there. Then comes machine learning. Machine learning is where you want the machine to recognize some past patterns, past data, and use statistical models to predict the future, like your revenue forecasting, fraud detection, credit risk scoring. These are all some of the things that where machine learning has a use case, especially where you want to analyze large amounts of past data and predict some level of future along with it. Again, a practical example for this is a healthcare company in Abu Dhabi. I was speaking to the CFO again, and he mentioned that they are using machine learning for short-term forecast, like a next 3-month forecast or a 6-month forecast. They can, like in the UAE and developed markets like US, mostly the patient data and everything is actually captured by the insurance company, right? Because even to take a basic consultation, you get an insurance approval or insurance company's approval, because everything is covered in your insurance. Even your basic doctor visits are covered in insurance. So the insurance companies have a lot of data, and this data can be used to kind of predict what would be my patient visits in the clinic over the next 6 months. Like, for example, if I have visited a dermatologist in the last 2 times in the last 6 months, chances are that I would probably visit one more time in the next 6 months, or maybe 2 times in the next 6 months, right? So these kind of prediction can be possible through machine learning and predictive forecasting. Then comes generative AI. Generative AI is where it is all about creation, where you want the machine to understand, where you instruct machine in a natural language, and then it is able to generate a certain commentary or generate a certain analysis for you. This is where your Claude, your ChatGPTs come into play. So those are all examples of generative AI. And then finally comes agentic AI. Agentic AI is where autonomous decision making happens. The agent is able to work as if it's an analyst or as if it's an accounts payable associate, and then independently manage, or it is able to take certain decisions as well. For example, in one of the conferences that I attended, they presented an AI agent which actually called a real estate prospect, understood his requirements, whether he's looking for a one bedroom, two bedroom, and even booked an apartment viewing. Right now, if AI agents can talk to customers and book apartment viewings, definitely they can pass some debits and credits. Right? If they can drive cars autonomously, they can definitely do some debits and credits. Right? So that is where agentic AI can autonomously do a certain set of tasks on their own, and you can use them as your support staff or your analyst. Right? So the future of finance, as they say, is that you will be managing a bunch of agents on your own. In fact, in one of the CFO conferences that I attended, somebody presented a very bold vision for the finance function. That is where on the top you have a human CFO, and on under the human CFO there are only AI agents working. So there's a procurement agent, there's an AP agent, there's an FP&A agent, there is an AR agent, only AI agents working. So again, that's a bold vision, but we are not very far from that. Especially for small and medium enterprise. So these are the four different levels of AI, right, from basic automation to autonomous intelligence. Okay, I hope this gives you some picture of where AI is heading. Are these all available to you as a user? May not be, but your IT teams are something which are actively considering all of these things. I know for a fact that most of your IT teams, if you're especially working in larger companies, are evaluating all these things. And probably within 3 to 6 months from now, you will have a user based or an enterprise version of all these tools that you are seeing today. Okay. So today you might not be simply be able to upload your company's financial data into a Claude or into a ChatGPT because of certain privacy restrictions. But all of that is going to go away within 3 to 6 months when enterprise grade security is embedded in these tools, and the companies will start giving you access, like how they started giving you access for Power BI, how they started giving you access for Microsoft O365 or a SharePoint and all of that. You will get access to all of these tools, and they will say, why are you working on Excel? Why are you not using Claude to work on Excel? Right? So your managers will start asking you questions on that, and that time is not very far. So this is the right time for you to upskill on AI tools. Okay. So with that context, let's get started with the first use case. I'll let Asif take over from here and present to you the first use case on a certain management report that we wanted to present.
All right, Dhawal, thanks. Let me share my screen. Okay, I'll get into the Excel file and explain what is going on in the Excel file first before we start the AI prompt. So let me share my screen. Okay, Dhawal, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Asif, we can see it. A slight increase in size won't harm. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Yeah.
Okay, so what we have here is we have five different business units MIS with me, and all of the different business units are different hotel properties of a hotel chain. And starting from property 1 to property 2 to property 5, what we need is we need to consolidate all of these together in a columnar format to be able to present that to the CEO. Okay, so that is the objective. So we have the data, or we have collected the data, or we have compiled the data in different sheets from for the different business units. Now we need to do a consolidation, which is a very common use case in finance, where you have different departments or different products, different branches, different service lines, where you need to have a consolidation and need to be able to present a overall picture of the department or the organization. So what I'll do is I'll try to use Claude and see if it works. Okay, so let me log in. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm going in my Excel and I'm using the Claude add-in. In case you don't have it, you can go to the add-in section and then add search your Claude, and that will enable you. If you just get click on add here, it will get added, and you will be in a similar. You will see a similar window like I do. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to log in using my Claude account. I do have a paid Claude account, so you need at least a $20 pro Claude account to be able to do this. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'll be connecting my Claude paid account, which is a Claude Pro account, to my Excel using this key which has been generated. So I'll say authorize, and with that, my Excel should have the capability to be able to run Claude inside. Okay, so it's signing in right now. Okay, so now it is able to run Claude inside Excel. Okay, I'll just make sure I save this file so that I am able to run the prompt. Okay, there is some error here which is strange. Usually it doesn't appear. So let's see if Claude is working or not. So what I'll do is I'll give a very simple prompt. I will say consolidate or link. So in this case, I want all the numbers to be linked in the sheet. So I'll say link the BU1 to BU5 MIS in the, I'll give you the exact name. Yes, I'm giving a very simple prompt. Let's see if it is able to do that. Okay, if you don't use Claude, you could do the same thing in Copilot also. You could do the same thing in ChatGPT also. All of these are very much capable of doing this particular task. Uh, and if we have time, I'll show it to you in ChatGPT as well. Okay, so what it is doing, it is trying to figure out BU1 to BU5 data column mapping and all. So it's trying to read the data, and typically it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to be able to complete the consolidation. Okay, so now it says I understand the structure. The consolidated MIS rows map to each BU sheets column. Okay, so it's able to understand the structure. It's asking me some permissions. Okay, Claude wants to link revenue and department cost to the BU sheet. So I'll say allow. And if you notice, it got populated as soon as I accepted it. It's still in process. So you see the revenue and the operating cost section getting populated. Now it's going down to the admin expenses and the other expenses. Okay, again, it is asking me some permission. Claude wants to link undistributed, so I'll say okay, or I'll say allow once. So if you notice, it took about couple of minutes to link all of the sheets. And if I'm just checking randomly, if it is connecting to the right number, so I'll say this column should all be Dubai, right? So this is coming from the Dubai property. So I'm just checking and looking at the formula here. It's all coming from the Dubai, and I want to test check this thoroughly so that I am able to trust this. And also you can build some checks and balances. For example, you could say total should be minus total minus all the five properties should be equal to zero, something on those lines. You could build a check on the year so that you are able to ensure that the consolidation is happening properly. Okay, so this is one example of where you could use Claude or any other AI tool to be able to consolidate data. And right now it is just 5 sheets. Imagine if you had hundreds of sheets or 50 different sheets where you had to pull data from. And in that case, it would have been saving you hours and hours of work. Although you need to ensure that you check it thoroughly, so you cannot rely on it blindly. But it does help in saving time in terms of the execution part. With that, I'll take a pause and see if there are any comments, any questions.
We can take questions in the end, Asif.
Yeah, I'm just checking if I can show that in the chat GPT as well. So
Yeah,
let's try that in chat GPT as well. So uh, Claude took about a minute and a half. Let's see if chat GPT is able to do that faster. Just to make sure that we get to it faster. I'm keeping it heavy. Otherwise, the fast or standard could have worked as well. Yes, I'll say link, same prompt, link BU1 to BU5. I'll say link data from to the consolidated MIS. Okay, so let's see how fast is this chat going to do this. It says I'll map the MIS and the BU layout first and wire the consolidation formulas. I'll apply the FP&A workbook conventions. Okay, so I'll read the MIS outside, doing all the understanding of the data and reading the data from the worksheet. It's asking me some permission, allow ChatGPT to edit it, I'll allow. I think because of this, it's asking me I should have saved a copy already. So if you notice, it took almost same amount of time, about a minute or so, to be able to consolidate it. And you could do that using any of these tools. So I would be, if somebody tried Copilot, let us know if you are able to do that. I don't have the login right now. Otherwise, we could have used Copilot as well to be able to do this. Okay, so right now I have linked it. I could have used VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP as well. Instead of giving the prompt to link it, I could have told use XLOOKUP, use VLOOKUP, and that would have worked as well. Okay, so you could have done that as well. With that, I'll take a pause and I'll pass it on to Dhawal, and we'll look at some more use cases on the management reports.
thank you, Asif. Okay, so with that, so this was one on the consolidating the reports use case. So with that, let's move to the second use case, which is on a quick analysis by the tool. So for this particular use case, I'm going to use a slightly different tool. It's called Manus AI. is basically a Chinese tool, but now bought by Meta. Okay, and the backend of Manus AI is Claude and a Chinese model called Gwen. So this looks pretty much very similar to Claude and has similar capabilities of Claude as well. In fact, when Manus was introduced, it was ahead of Claude, but I guess now Claude has quickly caught up on all the things, and it can. I felt Manus was slightly better on preparing presentations and everything, but I think equally good presentations are now coming out of Claude as well. Okay, so let me just quickly explain to you the Excel sheet, what I'm going to use for this exercise. So here is a quick small data set. I'm using a small data set just to give you that demonstration and in the limited time that we have. So here's a quick company data where we have for the month of June, there are stores. There are two channels in this company. One is the stores and then there's the online sales. The forecasted revenue for the stores channel was 9.5 million. And then for the online channel, it was 5.7 million. And the actual revenue ends up 9.2 million and 4.4 million. So out of the total forecast of 15.2 million revenue for the month of June, we are looking at 13.6 million actual revenue, which is a shortfall of 1.6 million dollars in annual revenue. Okay, and this shortfall is driven by some of it is driven by volumes, some of it is driven by the price. If you notice that in the stores, the forecasted units were 380K and now we ended up with 370K. The average forecasted price was also slightly lower. The forecasted price was 25 per unit and now instead of that we are at 24.9 per unit. Similarly for online, we ended up selling only 230K units as opposed to a forecast of 260K units. And then the average selling price was also lower than the forecast, right? So this is where the drop of 1.6 million is being explained through both volume and price drivers. Okay. Now, even a basic file like this, right, which has only like 3 or 4 things, if you are to actually analyze this, if you are to actually put together a waterfall chart and put your commentaries, it will still take good, 15, 20 minutes or half an hour for you. Okay. Now let's see if AI can do this for us in a few minutes. I uploaded the same file, the same Excel file, and now I'm giving this prompt to Manus AI. I'm saying study the Excel sheet, and from the Excel sheet, can you build a waterfall chart to explain the revenue variance? Okay. Use price, volume, and channel mix for your analysis. Also, give me a 3 to 4 bullet point sharp executive summary along with a waterfall chart. So this is my prompt. Said, okay, got it. I'll analyze the Excel sheet. I'll understand the revenue variance, create a waterfall chart, started prompting on its own. All the calculations are being done now by Manus AI. Then it says my analysis is complete. Here's my bullet points. Revenue underperformance of 1.6 million. I think we can correlate this. There was a 1.6 million revenue drop. Volume decline being the primary driver. Price erosion. So there is price erosion also, especially in the online channel, where channel mix shifted towards from stores to online, right? So this is also another observation. So it is giving us all these observations in an executive summary. Okay, and then it gave me a standalone waterfall chart, which I did not like it much. Although the information was right, but I did not like the standalone waterfall chart. Then I said, okay, give me a one slide executive presentation for this. So it started working on the executive presentation. So it gave me an executive presentation, which was pretty decent, in terms of formatting and in terms of everything. Very well formatted. I think all the storytelling best practices are used here. So you can see that there's a nice action title which says 1.6 million revenue shortfall driven by volume decline and pricing pressure. Again, I did not give it any information, or I did not say that use these color combinations or use a waterfall chart, or I did mention about waterfall chart, but I did not say what structure to use or how to use it. It's all done on its own. Again, it's giving us the key variance drivers. It is itself breaking down the difference. The 1.6 million revenue drop is broken down into multiple components. 0.91 is coming out of volume effect. That is a 40K decline in channels. Okay, and 11.5% volume collapse. Then price effect. The price effect is 0.68 million. So out of the 1.6 million, 0.9 happens to be volume, 0.68 happens to be price effect. And then there is a channel mix effect as well, where online revenue mix contracted from 37.5 to 32.4%. So initially we had planned for a 37.5% online sales, but in fact the store sales were higher and then the online sales were lower. Okay. So again, critical insight. Look at the commentary that it is sharing again. Online channel account for 81% of the total revenue shortfall. So out of the $1.6 million shortfall that we saw in totality, 1.3 million is attributable to online stores, online sales. Okay. And again, it's giving me the waterfall chart where this is my forecasted revenue, this is my actual revenue. So volume effect, price effect, and channel mix effect. So it's giving a nice waterfall chart as well. And then it's also giving me this table and the monetary impact of each element as well. So pretty good job on the presentation, although this was a simple file, but I have used Manasi AI for creating far more complex presentations, even extending up to 20 slides as well. And it did a pretty good job. I felt a couple of slides were unnecessary, but otherwise, I think it does a pretty good job. And I think this will improve with time, right? So I hope you're now getting a glimpse of how AI is going to change your FP&A role. So you will not be working on things from scratch, whether it is inside Excel or preparing a presentation. So you will not be working with things from scratch. It will always give you you will always have this some steps being carried out by an AI tool, which will be within your enterprise, and then the rest of it will be done by rest of it you will be doing by prompting, or you will be just giving a touch up or reviewing it. But however, just a word of caution: whatever analysis and presentations these AI tools are doing, please make sure that you double check them thoroughly. Make sure that the formulas are consistent, the presentation, the formatting, and the things are consistent, because any financial data that you don't kind of review, the end result is you are responsible for it, right? So if you present a wrong number to your CEO or a CFO, then you will be in trouble. So make sure that you double check all these numbers as well. Agentic AI, again, I'm not making it very complex for you. Again, although complex things are possible, I'm just giving you a quick glimpse of what is possible. Okay. So if you are doing some task which is on a routine basis, right? Or if you're doing a task which is the same task every month and a repetitive task, you don't need to give the prompt every month, or you don't need to use the chat feature or the conversation feature of a Claude or a chat GPT. You can create a mini workflow or an agent for yourself. Okay. And I'm showing you one example here that I have created, and I've used chat GPT to do this. Okay. So basically, I created a variance analysis agent in HTML format. Okay. It looks something like this, where if I have to analyze the same budget file and the variance file every month, I don't need to go back to ChatGPT, or I don't need to go back to Claude. I can use my own mini tool or my own mini agent that I have created here. Right? So this is a revenue variance analysis agent that I've created. What I will be doing is I'll now just quickly choose file to upload a budget file. Here I'm uploading a SaaS company budget file. Okay. So I'm just saying upload. So the budget file is now uploaded. I'm now choosing the actuals file. Okay. So here I have the actuals file as well. Okay. I'm now saying open. The actuals file is now uploaded, and I'm just going to say variance analysis, and voila, we have the variance analysis in front of us. Okay, analysis is completed. The budgeted revenue was 2.5 million dirhams, as opposed to that the actual revenue is 2.62 million dirhams. So there is a favorable variance of 28.8k. Variance by region is given. Again, last 3 months is data, last 3 months is performance. I mean, it's a quarterly analysis that this is doing. So there is the last 3 months data also given. CFO level commentary, what are the drivers, what is working, what is not working. Again, these are partner wise data. So it can be anything. It can be channel wise, store wise, product level, whatever you define. Best would be that you share some sample files, or the files that you are using with ChatGPT beforehand, and then it will study and create those kind of variance analysis for you. Okay. So here you can see the executive summary is here, right? So 28.8k favorable variance. The favorable variance is coming from where? And again, the detail is also given here. How is the US partner doing for these months? How is the Saudi Arabia partner doing? How is the UAE partner doing? So all that is given here as well. Further review required, within tolerance. It's giving us some commentary as well. But again, you can define what are your thresholds. You can say flag anything which is above 5% variance. You can give all those like sub prompts as well. Okay, so I tried it with a very simple set of data. Okay, and this is pretty much working well. If there is a repetitive task that you would like to do, then you don't need to do the prompt every month. You don't need to use your tokens every month, right? You just have to use tokens one time to create a tool for yourself, or a mini tool for yourself like this. Okay, you call it app, you call it agent, or whatever you want to call it.
Is it like a cloud skill? Is it like a cloud skill?
No, not really. It is like Claude skill, but I created this tool with ChatGPT.
You said some agentic, no? You said Chinese and cloud.
Yeah, that was the previous example, Sachin, where I
Yeah.
used Manus AI, which is an agentic AI tool. So this is the Manus AI. If you look at Manus AI, it looks pretty much like Claude or a ChatGPT. So you can get whatever things done from here. You can create slides, build websites, design, analyze, whatever you want to do. It's just like you're treated like your assistant, and it'll do all the stuff for you. But again, for repetitive tasks, you don't need to go and if I give a prompt here or in Claude or in ChatGPT, every time it consumes the tokens. So I'll have limited tokens. So the real utility of you knowing AI lies in how you can automate your processes, right? In this case, I had actually kind of created this mini, I would say, I won't even want to call it agent, right? I want to call it an app, right? If we earlier before AI, we cannot design our own self-service apps, right? So here I have designed a revenue variance analysis agent. It can be anything. It can be a bank reconciliation agent. It can be AP reconciliation agent. Anything that you would like to design, right? With a few prompts and giving some files in the past, the system studies and creates these things for you. And here I don't need to give token. Next month when I do my monthly close, I'll just come here, choose file for that month, again choose the actual file for that month, and then it will analyze the variances in a very similar way for me. So for repetitive tasks, I can create these mini apps. I don't need to really rely on the tool, or I don't need to consume tokens every now and then. Okay. So this is a quick glimpse that I wanted to give, kind of a agent or an app building in using ChatGPT in this case. Let me come back to the slides. So we covered the first use case, which was on the consolidation. Then we looked at a quick use case on analyzing or a variance analysis of one single month for a small company. And then the third use case was building your own mini app or an AI agent, which is a variance analysis agent that I showed you on the screen, right? So which does not consume tokens and it cannot operate pretty much on your own, like a local desktop app as well, right? So these are the three cases that I want to cover in the limited time that we had. I hope you kind of realize how FP&A is changing or how your role is going to change. You will not be working on complex Excel sheets anymore. In natural language, you will get things done on Excel sheet, right? So, or get things done in a PPT using a tool. Right? So that's how your FP&A role is going to change. So I hope you realize how amazing it would be for you to prepare and grab those opportunities in an AI-driven FP&A function, right? So if you are interested to learn more about AI, so what we are doing is we are conducting a AI for Finance and FP&A masterclass, which is our 5 weeks program. The program is going to start on 7th of August, where we're covering 25 plus use cases. What you saw was like a mini trailer. So these are not even the complex use cases that we covered. So what you saw was just like a quick trailer. We're covering more than 25 plus AI specific use cases, specifically in FP&A. How do you do variance analysis, commentaries, preparing CFO presentations, building financial models, a number of different kind of use cases in all these tools. Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, Manus, Copilot. So we are covering all these tools and sharing you real use cases. Okay, and how you can understand about 10 hours of content. So every Friday we meet for 2 hours. Okay, and that's starting from 7th of August. And then within 10 hours, you will have a quick overview of understanding how you can actually use these tools in your FP&A roles, and then save hours and hours together in terms of automation. Okay. So what AI FP&A Masterclass is all about, there are live lessons for your convenience. Often we all enroll into recorded functions, recorded courses, but we seldom complete them, right? So live lessons for your convenience. All you need to carve out is about 2 hours, maybe I would say 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours for the live lectures, and maybe about half an hour to 45 minutes for your own practice. And again, within 4 weeks, you will have pretty much a good control over all these different tools that we are covering. Again, 100% practical use cases. I mean, we have been using these use cases in our roles or with our clients, right? So everything that we cover is 100% practical use cases, and you get a very hands-on experience on that. You'll get certified from FP&A Professionals Institute. You'll also be part of our alumni community where you can clarify any doubts you might have through monthly Q&A sessions. You'll be part of a global alumni community. So FPI has been training for students, from more than 100 countries so far. So you'll be part of a global alumni community as well. So these are all the benefits that you get with the AI for FP&A Masterclass. The next cohort, the live cohort, starts on 7th of August 2026, which is Friday. The timings will be from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST, Friday evening from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST. And the fee for this is USD 247. You can, of course, avail an early bird offer of 10% by using the code early10. Okay, so that's the AI FPA program for you. If you are serious and if you want to gain some hands-on exposure in a structured way with all those AI tools and AI skill sets, then AI FPA is your best option at this point in time. Okay. So yeah, so that's what we had to share. Again, a quick reminder: the next cohort is starting on the 7th of August, 2026. The links to the program will be shared in the chat box, and it will also be shared on the WhatsApp group. Okay, and we are seeing job posts already now, right? So there is, if you see any FP&A analyst job posts, you will at least see 10% of the FP&A job posts asking you for AI skill sets or a Claude skill set, right? So they have already started asking for it, which means the time is not far where everything, all of this will be very much internalized and you will be left behind. So wherever you want to learn it from, right? So just take FP&A and AI both very, very seriously in 2026. So that would be my concluding thoughts for today. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions on LinkedIn, and all the very best for you.
All right. Thanks everybody for joining. Thank you, Dhawal. Thanks,
Thanks,
Neeraj.
everyone.
Thanks, Shiv.